Hello, and welcome to this technical session from CCSL. My name is Mike Booker, and I am a SolidWorks application engineer working for CCSL. In this technical session, we're going to give you an overview of a specific area of assemblies within 2015 called chain component pattern. These chain component patterns allow you to simulate chain components with greater realism in 2015. Within my SolidWorks package, I have this chain component pattern in the way of a chain and a sprocket, and you can see it's easy for me to manipulate my view to dynamically update my chain components to simulate in real time their position in the assembly. This is a great new enhancement within 2015 which allows you to simulate your assemblies with greater realism than ever before. Another example of these chain component patterns within assemblies is this gantry. And you can see that we've got two examples of this chain component pattern. We've got an upper energy chain and a lower energy chain. And you can see that when I move my gantry through its range of motion, my energy chain automatically updates to reflect that change in position. So let's take a look at how these chain component patterns are generated. Here we have an example of the energy chain that you saw in the gantry. The first thing we need to do is fix the chain sketch. This enables us to move our components along the sketch without interruption. The first thing we want to do is invoke our chain component pattern and then select our chain path. Select OK to that menu. In this case, what we want to do is fill the path with our instances. And then we're going to select our chain group, which is obviously this link. We need to select a positioning reference, then select an appropriate positioning plane. So you can see how SolidWorks populates my model with a preview of my links, and I can begin to move my links along my sketch. And clearly this could be more realistic, and what I can do now is I can use my second method, called distance linkage, to get something that looks more realistic. So let's just change my spacing and select a second positioning reference, and you can see that SolidWorks automatically populates my model with my preview. And in this case, I'm beginning to get something that looks much more realistic. So let's go about mating up my final endpoints, and then I can move on to the third option. What we've got for this link at the top here is a smart mate. Simply by holding down Alt, I can snap to my final location. Just like I said before, we're going to change this chain component pattern to my third different option. We're just going to have a connected linkage this time with the same number of instances. What we're going to do now is select OK and finally float the sketch. And you can see if I zoom out, I can move my chain component pattern through its range of motion, just like I would be able to expect to do when it's mounted into my gantry. So you can see that when I go back to my gantry within my SolidWorks package, and I incorporate the chain component pattern into my assembly and set the state to floating, when I move my gantry through its range of motion, the chain component pattern automatically and dynamically updates to reflect the change in position. As you can see, this is a great enhancement to assemblies within 2015 SolidWorks. It allows you to simulate your assemblies with greater realism and greater accuracy than in previous versions.